Hi everyone, this is Brandy with Exploring Expression, and I want to take a second, thank you, to talk about homeschool. So we homeschool year-round, but a couple of times a year, in the fall and again in the spring, we take a minute to reevaluate what we're doing and start new units. And so pretty much it's kind of like the first day of school, even though school never really ends for us. So one of the things we're doing this year, as you can see here, and I'm going to talk about this just a second, is using a theme. So we're kind of moving away from the textbooks a little bit. We're going to be using a little textbooks, but not a whole lot, and becoming more organic with what we're doing. But let me show you what we have. This is our homeschool plan wall. I live in a very small apartment and have the, I'm going to say, luxury of being able to use a whole wall just for homeschooling stuff. And hopefully, I tried to make it kind of artistic, but it's homeschool wall, what can I say? So, what we have on either side, here's one here, here's Daniel's, and here's Joshua's over here. And these are our learning goals. So as we cover the different interest topics that the boys have chosen and that we've decided on, I want to make sure that we're learning the things that this grade needs to learn. You know, Joshua's entering high school this year, so I want to make sure that I have covered the things that need to be able to be covered to put on his high school transcript at the end of the year. Daniel he's 5 going on 6, but we're working on a first, second, I don't know, somewhere between kindergarten and 3rd grade. Benefit of homeschooling, I can work where he's at. So see, these are some of Daniel's learning goals for this year. In language arts, we're going to describe story structure. We're going to read more chapter books. He's going to read more chapter books. We're going to produce and publish some writing. I want him to understand the writing process. Now he's young, so it's going to be first, you're going to be write and then revise and then have a final draft. That's all we really need to know about the writing process. We're going to work on decoding meaning of words from context, expanding the number of words he can read and spell, learning the major parts of speech. So I've done one of these for each of the subject areas. There's math, science, social studies, and then other things that he does. I've also included in other his extracurricular activities because those are homeschool. Daniel does musical theater, he does dance, he does choir. All of these other things he takes, he has a Spanish tutor. All of these other things are included in other things that for his learning goals. Joshua, on the other hand, you can tell Joshua wrote out his. So we sat down, he and I together, and we talked about what kind of things did he want to learn in math. So in math this year, we're doing kind of a pre-algebra geometry type of thing. I'm going to talk in just a second about how we're going to accomplish that. In creative writing, we're really going to work on the 3 types of writing: creative writing, essay writing, and research papers. And doing a bunch of science experiments and social studies. And he also wants to do hiking this year. So we're going to see how that goes. So, how do we accomplish this? Well, this is what we decided. We sat down and we said, what are the major things we want to do this year? Daniel is acting this semester. So this is starting this semester, and then at the end of December, beginning of January, we'll revisit this wall and see what have we exhausted and if anything new has to be added. So, things that are happening this semester. Daniel is going to be acting in Alpha Junior. So that musical theater takes up a lot of time and we want to capitalize on that. Joshua and Daniel both decided they wanted to read and study Harry Potter. So we're going to be doing a huge amount of Harry Potter stuff, and I'll talk about all these little things in a second. We were invited for the first time to join a fantasy football league. So we're actually going to be doing math through fantasy football. And keep an eye out for future videos as I talk about how we learn math through playing fantasy football. And if we're gonna play, we're gonna try to win. We'll see. It's our first. I don't know a whole lot about football, so as they learn about statistics, I'm gonna learn about football. You never know. I may be a fan at the end. Unlikely, but we'll see. Joshua loves, and both the boys love Minecraft. So if we're gonna do schooling, it has to include Minecraft in some format. We also have, I wanted to study some sort of classic literature. Since we had Harry Potter and since we had Elf Jr., we decided, let's do elves. So we've added in Elves and the Shoemaker, and then we've added in Lord of the Rings. So how do you turn all of this into a curriculum? Well, we started with these big diamonds, and we said, okay, what do you want to learn that has something to do with these major topics? So all of these little things are stuff that they want to learn about. We have owls and how it's made, Christmas and astronomy, theater, coding for Minecraft and architecture, rules and laws, magic. We have magic on here twice, apparently. They thought that was super important. Dragons, divination, magical creatures. We're going to learn how to play chess. We're going to learn about flying. We're going to research. We're going to do statistics. Each one of these things fits in to this whole progress. So let me give you an example. We are going to host an elf summit. It's the, what was it called? The Summit
of Non-Human Rights.
Summit for Rights of Non-Humans in memory of dear departed Dobby. So we're going to, so many things are going to tie into that. We're learning letter writing, and we're learning planets. We're going to be studying a lot of human rights as we talk about elves and their place in each of these societies. And we're going to be doing a lot of comparison. We're going to be adding in science with astronomy and flying and biology. And architecture. We're going to be adding in math through statistics and coding. We're going to be doing civics with rules. So this is what the boys wanted to follow. You know, this is following their passions in homeschool. This is their passion. As we follow their passion, I can refer back to our goals and make sure, okay, today we're going to be doing potions. How can I use the scientific method for that? Today we're going to be talking about magic, or if we're going to read a book, how can we talk about story structure in our magic? Daniel, in his social studies, one of his learning goals is to understand that history is made of people. So we're going to be doing a bunch of biographies. We're going to be talking about J.K. Rowling. We're going to be talking about Hans Christian Andersen. All of these things, we're going to be talking a lot about magic when we study magic. We're going to learn about Harry Houdini and David Copperfield. This is following their passions in a structured learning method. So this is our plan this year and this semester for homeschool. I'm going to come back several times. We're going to talk about, not in this video, in future videos, we'll talk about our schedules and we'll talk about how we're actually accomplishing some of these things. If you have any questions or comments, please comment them below and click like and subscribe and all of the options that you have down there to show that you want to see more videos. And until next time, I'll see you later.